Big Ten Football Media Days coming up next week, and Indiana announced who will be attending that. Besides Coach Tom Allen, of course, A.J. Barner, tight end, Cam Jones, and Tiawan Mullen. Both defensive players there, Cam Jones, linebacker, and Tiawan Mullen, All-American cornerback candidate. But it's so funny. Tiawan Mullen, he's a senior now, although he would probably have another year, right, if he wanted to take it. But I think he's a senior. And I remember talking to him, Kevin and Chronic, when they were making the freshman football players available to us before the season. And I still remember this, and I'll have to go pull this back up. But the confidence, this was his first interview, and he talked about the last thing in the great quote that he said was, I didn't come 23 hours to mess around. I came to win. And it was, I'll never forget that conversation, but 3 years ago or whatever it was. But, we just watch him grow and do exactly what he said very quietly. He's quiet. He's like a quiet assassin, but he's done what he said he's going to do. And he's fun to watch, man.
I'll tell you what, you talk about what a great human being Kyle Schwarber is. I have very similar feelings for Tiawan Mullen. I've got a chance to work with him in a professional capacity on a couple of occasions. And, you look at the kids that come through here that represent the school, the community, and you could not pick a better ambassador for Indiana University, Indiana football. Just the superlative teammate. Every time I go to a gym, I don't think there's a facility on campus, an athletics facility on campus, where I haven't seen Tiawan supporting other athletes. He's just a great human being. He's a great football player. And, for all the talk about what Indiana needs to do to get back on track and, to get the Tom Allen defense back up to standards that we've come to expect from it. I'm looking at number 3 specifically as a leader to set the tone for that team going forward.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, when he first came here, he didn't come here just to have a 2-win season, not after the success that they've tasted. And, for a kid that's battled some injuries, I'm looking at him specifically to set the tone for that defense and get them back on track. And, as we've seen previously, up until last year under Tom Allen's tenure, captaining a defense that can win football games for Indiana.
I mean, Chronic, he is their most talented player. He is their returning All-American, right? Because Micah McFadden left, and they were the 2 All-Americans from 2020. And he is just such a key. I mean, his injury, which I don't think was talked about enough last year when he went down in October and then tried to play again in the Maryland game, just wasn't ready to come back, and had the leg issues and so forth. But when he is on, he takes away a portion of the field, and that just totally, changes the way you can play in the secondary. So his health is going to be key. And, Tom Allen told me in the offseason he's 100%. So that's going to be obviously huge to go forward for him to play at the level that he played at in 2020 and 2019 when he first came here.
And for the first time in his tenure now, he's got his baby brother on the roster with him. So he's he's got family on the team now that I know he's excited to have here on campus. And I know he's excited to share success with him, with his brother Travell. So I can't wait to see the tone that Tiawan sets going forward. And I can't wait to see a return to a defense that can literally change the game for IU, because they have relied on that in the past, and they've got to get back to it, I think, if they're going to give their offense a chance this season.
Well, he also wants to pass the torch, so to speak, to his brother, because Tiawan has been a mainstay. He's been an important part of that defense in more ways than one. Not just his performance, but his heart, his. I guarantee you, he doesn't say a lot to the media, but I promise he talks to his teammates. But he does more talking by his play. But I think he wants to. I think he's proud of him, his family. He's got a brother that played and he plays in the NFL, that played at a high level in college as well. He wants his brother for the same thing, and the fact that his brother's here meant that Tiawan had a lot of good things to say, because if he didn't, he wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and we talk about his brother. It's all those Florida guys, quite honestly. They came up here because they saw opportunity in Indiana, and they take a lot of pride in their play. And just from talking, the conversation I've had with Tiawan, it's very clear that there's a lot of unrest in that locker room as far as the results that they achieved last season. And I know those guys, or at least as communicated to me, have taken those failures personally. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a marked turnaround on the defensive side of the ball, led by Tiawan and some of those upperclassmen there, because they had big expectations for themselves. For all the talk about how IU let down media and fan expectations last year, I don't think there's anybody more disappointed in the season than the players and the coaches. Now we'll see how well they've internalized that when the new season starts off. But they've been putting in the work, and I'm excited to see what type of results they're able to generate from it.
Absolutely, and now we're heading into the summer. We got the Peach Jam going on down in North Augusta, which the EYBL finishing up. Which you can get live reports on the Hoosier.com. But for all the IU targets down there, coaches are down there. We've got Big Ten Media Days coming up next week for football, which will be at Lucas Oil Stadium Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's almost here, man.
No, it's like I said, like we said it last week. I've been saying it for the last several weeks, as a matter of fact. It's that weird time of the academic calendar, the athletic calendar, where you feel like you're in the doldrums, but behind the scene, everything is picking up, and it's about ready to unleash here and start cascading upon us here real quick. And I personally love it. You kind of get the best of all worlds, but still B-Town summer. But we got stuff to talk about right now. Zach and I were just talking. I ran into him last week, and talking about how we need to get back on a podcast schedule here going forward. And, quite frankly, there's not a lot to talk about, unless you want to drill into recruiting news and, workout videos and all that stuff. But while there's not a whole lot of content, you're laying the foundation for the seasons to come. And we're starting to see the results with all the new guys in the basketball squad, getting those gains in. You start seeing the numbers get posted, and some of the transformations of the bodies become physically evident now. So it's so close we can taste it. I'm not wishing summer away by any means, but man, I can't wait to get back into Memorial, to get back over to Armstrong, Wilkinson Hall for that matter, and just get back into the routines that we have established here in Bloomington, at least as it interrelates with IU athletics. And it's getting closer by the day, man. Can't wait.